Hey folks, walk with me. A concept that I feel that I never actually understood very well until recently is this concept of going within. I've read books for decades about this idea of turn inward, work on yourself, explore yourself, all of these things. I didn't really know what that meant, to be honest. And as of late, I've been doing some particular work, which maybe I'll talk about in a different video because it probably deserves its own title and hashtags and whatever. But there is so much vibrancy and aliveness that is had inside of you. It's almost like embarrassing and disappointing in a way, and shocking that it took me so long to understand this and realize it. But you have to come to grips with the idea that anything that's happening in the outside world, or that you perceive as happening in the outside world, is actually happening in your mind. Not only in the way that you are sort of grabbing it with your senses, right? You're turning vibrations in the air into sounds, and you're turning photons and light into objects and depth perception and all this stuff. But you're also then deciding internally what to do, what to make of that information. And that, as we know, from person to person can vary wildly. And that's because this concept of inner world dominates. That's actually where you're doing all of your living. I wouldn't even say most, I would say all. And here's what I've started to do with it. This is why I actually wanted to share. You can create in that space places to go at any time, in your mind's eye, in your imagination, however you want to think of it, in your inner world, whatever words you want to put to it. But you can create spaces to go. You can create lovely escapes of places that make you feel warm and fuzzy, spaces that make you feel adventurous, make you feel loved, safe, whatever it is. And I have now probably half a dozen or more of these, and new ones that crop up and surprise me all the time. Additionally, you can create sort of fantasy worlds, if you want, where you can just sort of live and explore and enjoy the concepts of your mind. You know, I often think of, there's actually a few YouTube channels that create these lovely little sort of fairy lands, right, where things are sparkly and surprising, and there's little nooks and crannies with quirky things in there. And you can create this same imagery, this same world in your inner world. And you can occupy that space, and you can navigate through that. You can live a whole life there. To me, that's actually the interesting part. It's not necessarily this concept of just understanding that through your sensory perceptions that there's actually, conception and cognition of that in your mind, which is inside your body, and that you are then also sort of making a determination on what to think of the things that are happening or that you're perceiving, etc., etc. To me, that's okay, but it's not that exciting. I think the exciting thing is here, the worlds that you can create, the spaces that you can create, the people. I'm using people very lightly. The people or the entities that you can meet in your mind that you may just otherwise go your whole life and never encounter, never engage with. That to me is the true interest and glory of living from your inner world, which you do anyway. That's maybe the broader point of that initial take on it, which is, you know, this idea that no matter what, it's coming into your inner world anyway. So you're going to be there anyway. And you can either be there in this very mundane kind of clay and rocks way, or you can be there in this sort of fantastical, sparkling, shimmering, quirky, nooks and crannies kind of way. All right, folks. Well, we got about 6-ish minutes in here. And whether you walked or didn't walk, I certainly appreciate you coming along with me thus far. And as always, I will see you in the next video.